All right, let's call our meeting to order. It's 9 o'clock. Good morning. Patty, could we have the roll, please?
Commissioner Snyder?
Present.
Commissioner Galpin?
Present.
Commissioner Elliott?
Here.
Commissioner Wallen-Daly?
Here. And then, did anybody have notes on the minutes from April 9th, April 23rd, May 14th, or July 23rd? Did they all look good? Could I have a roll call for approval of those minutes?
Commissioner Snyder?
Approve.
Commissioner Galpin?
Yes.
Commissioner Elliott?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallen-Daly?
Yes. All right. The hearing this morning is for Jackson County Planning File 439260030 sub. This is an application for an 11-lot residential subdivision in 2 phases. The subdivision being created on 1.53 acres of land in the White City Urban Residential 8 WCUR8 zoning district. The subject property is located on the east side of 25th Street between Falcon Street and Avenue G, White City, Oregon. The property is further described as Township 36 South, Range 1 West, Section 16CD, Tax Lot 201A. The application was submitted by Friesen Construction through their agent Scott Sinner Consulting, Inc. There are a number of items I am required to address prior to the start of the hearing. Approval criteria used in making this decision are listed in entirety in the staff report. Please direct your testimony and evidence toward the approval criteria. You may also direct your testimony to other criteria in the comprehensive plan, land development ordinance, or other land use regulations which you believe apply to the decision now before the Jackson County Planning Commission. Remember that a failure to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to afford the Planning Commission and other parties an opportunity to respond to the issue will prevent appeal on that issue to the Land Use Board of Appeals, and all participants who wish to speak must sign up on the sign-up sheet provided. The county is making a verbatim recording of the hearing. In the event of an appeal, it will probably be necessary to transcribe it. Therefore, when you testify or comment, please speak loudly and clearly so that your testimony will be recorded. Begin by identifying yourself so that anybody reading a transcript of the record will know who is talking. We need to have you clearly identify yourself with name and address for the record. Any written comments or other items of evidence must be submitted to the clerk to be marked as an exhibit for the record. The procedure for the hearing will be as follows. First, the commissioners will indicate whether or not they have had any ex parte contacts or have conflicts of interest. Second, we will have a report from county planning staff. Commissioners may have questions of staff at that time. Third, the public hearing will then be opened. We will first hear from the applicant. We will hear first from those in favor of the subdivision. We will then hear from those opposed to the subdivision. We will then hear from those wishing to speak from a neutral position on the subdivision. The applicant will have an opportunity to respond to any testimony or evidence. Testimony from the public and agencies will be limited to 5 minutes. Anyone needing more time to testify than allotted should submit their additional comments in writing. Once everyone has had an opportunity to speak, the public hearing and associated public record will be closed. Unless the public hearing is continued by the commissioners to a future date, the public hearing will be closed for deliberation by the commissioners. Once the public hearing and public record are closed, the chair will call for deliberations prior to making a decision. So at this time, I would like to ask the commissioners if they have had any ex parte contact or conflicts of interest.
Can I talk about a technicality first?
Yeah.
So it says in your admonishment tax lot 201A, but I don't think that's right. I think it's just 201.
I would like to amend the
Quite
admonishment to remove the A after 201.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then can we have a roll call for ex parte contact, please?
Commissioner Snyder?
None.
Commissioner Galpin?
None.
Commissioner Elliott?
I have none.
Commissioner Wallen-Daly?
None. Okay, so could I please have the planning staff report? Ken, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ken Skiles. I'm Planner 2 of the Jackson County Planning Division, 10 South Oakdale, Medford. You have before you an application, as was stated, for an 11-lot residential subdivision, file 43926. 00030 SUB. Let's see if I can work this thing here. The application is for 11 detached single-family residential lots. It's to be developed in 2 phases. The first phase would include lots 1 through 5. Lots 6 through 11 would be developed with phase 2. No new streets are proposed with this subdivision. You can see that this is the map of the zoning in the area. The subject property is zoned WCUR8. It's WCUR8 on all sides except for a small portion to the west, which is WCUR6. The WCUR8 zoning district requires a minimum of 4 dwelling units per acre and a maximum of 8 dwelling units per acre. The applicant is proposing to develop at 7.18 dwelling units per acre, so they are within their minimum and maximum density. The WCUR8 also comes with a minimum lot size. Lots need to be at least 5,000 square feet. The applicant has proposed lots to be, most of them are at or just a little over 5,000 square feet, with a few that are up to 9,086 square feet. So the application is consistent as far as density and lot size with the zoning district. You can see this is an aerial photo of the area surrounding the subject property. The development pattern is consistent with the development of the subdivision is consistent with the surrounding area. Some of the lots are a little bit larger than what's proposed, but is generally consistent. One of the requirements, let's see. Sorry, that wasn't there before. One of the requirements of the land development ordinance is that when you're developing in multiple phases is to record a platting to achieve minimum densities deed declaration. This just is to ensure that in the end the development is to the densities required. That deed declaration would be recorded prior to final plat approval. Included with that deed declaration, a future development plan would be recorded and would be an attachment to that deed declaration. So all of the lots that are proposed would take access from 25th Street, which is an existing public street. It's a White City Local A street. It has a 60-foot right-of-way. Typically, the Local A street has a 45-foot right-of-way. In this case, where it was an existing older street, it has the 60-foot right-of-way. The capacity of the road is approximately 2,000 automobile trips. The proposed lots, the 11 lots, would generate approximately 105 trips. With the surrounding areas, we don't anticipate that the capacity would be more than, or the number of trips that would be generated by even the surrounding area would be more than around 1,000 trips. So it's well within its capacity. One of the requirements in the land development ordinance is for a transportation impact study or a waiver of the transportation impact study. The planning director and the county engineer are required to approve any waiver. They did this, which indicates that the current transportation system is adequate to accommodate the proposal. The Roads Division comments submitted for the application didn't raise any significant issues with capacity or road intersections. The only thing that we did want to make note of is that they requested that there be no access to Lot 1 from Falcon Street, and that is included as a condition of approval. Probably the most significant issue that you'll look at today is the issue of wetlands. You can see them on the map here. It shows the vernal pools that are mapped on the subject property. The light green are developed vernal pools, and the darker green are mapped as altered vernal pools. The altered vernal pools are a little bit higher level of vernal pools, and those require notice to Department of State Lands. We did send notice to DSL, and they responded. The applicant will need to work with DSL to make sure that all of the wetlands issues are addressed. From this map, you can see the applicant did do a delineation of the wetlands on the subject property. What they found was that there are no vernal pools on the subject property. They didn't find any evidence of fairy shrimp or associated plant species that are typically would be with vernal pools. What they did find in the northeast portion of the property is an area of wetlands that are classified as palustrine emergent. So that's essentially, it's ponding, and so you could see from the aerial photos from previous that there is some ponding that occurs in that area. Staff requested or recommended a condition of approval that the applicant revise the configuration of the lots. Their proposal split the wetlands between 3 of the lots 9, 10, and 11. Our concern was that fencing and other activities in those lots would have a degrading effect on those wetlands. We discussed in the staff report changing the configuration to make lots 9 and 10 5,000 square feet, and then concentrate all the wetlands in lot 11, and that would help to better manage and protect those wetlands, and would result without have no fencing that would cross it. The applicant, you can see this is the plan that they submitted to us, where it does change lots 9 and 10 to 5,000 square feet, and they submitted that for discussion with the Planning Commission. And then lot 11 is 16,000 square feet. One of the issues that we looked at in this is that the lot 11 in this configuration would be just under 40 feet or 44 feet wide. So it was a little bit narrower, but with the area of the wetlands in the back, it meets the width requirements for the WCUR8 zoning district. There's also some potential. You can see a little bit of the wetlands extend into lot 9. There is potential that they can fill portions of those wetlands up to 50 cubic yards. One of the requirements of the land development ordinance, and one of the things that were that neighbors raised was the issue of grading and stormwater management. One of the requirements of the land development ordinance is to do a stormwater management plan, which would be reviewed and approved through the Rogue Valley Sewer Services. And that's included as condition number 6. Also, we've required a grading plan, which would show that the grading of the lots is positive drainage towards the existing storm drain lines, which they're on the east side of 25th Street. This is a map of the utilities and facilities in that area. There is a sewer main line that's existing in the east or east of the 25th Street right-of-way in an easement, so that's on private property. There's also a short segment of sewer main line that extends south from Avenue G, and they would, if they were going to use that, then they would extend that line south. The sewer district noted that the existing line can be used for lots 1 through 8, and then they would need to extend the main line to serve lots 9 through 11. The water main line runs right down the middle of 25th Street, and so that's available. And then again, as noted, there's a storm drain line in the east portion of the 25th Street easement right of way. As far as streetlights, there is one streetlight currently in the area. And you can see that pointed out. It's about 220 feet north of Falcon Street. And with discussion, in discussion with the county engineer, it appears they probably will need more streetlights, and they will need to work with the county engineer and the White City Lighting District to determine how many lights and installation of those lights. And then lastly, the fire hydrant. There's one fire hydrant in the area, and that's about approximately halfway between Falcon Street and Avenue G. We did not receive comments from the fire district, but we did include a condition in there that they work with the fire district to determine if additional fire hydrants are needed, and then installation would happen with the development of the subdivision. In short, all the agencies that responded did indicate that there is sufficient capacity in all of the facilities to accommodate this subdivision. We did receive comments from 4 property owners, 2 of which are in your record. Two came in after the record was sent out to the planning commissioners. The 2 that came in were from these 2 properties. I won't try to pronounce that top one, but they raised a number of issues, and we believe that we have addressed all of those issues in the staff report, and feel like that the applicant has met all of the standards and conditions, or standards and criteria. The second set came in after the record went out. One of those comments recommended approval. The second raised similar issues to the first. And again, we believe we've addressed all of those. So in summary, this is a pretty straightforward 11 lot residential subdivision. As noted, it's they plan to develop it in 2 phases. Staff has found that the applicant has, with the recommended modifications to lots 9 through 11, that they meet all of the criteria and standards of the land development ordinance. With that in mind, staff recommends that the Jackson County Planning Commission approve the 11 lot residential subdivision in 2 phases, subject to the conditions listed in the staff report. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer those.
Any questions? Okay.
I can't resist.
Oh, please.
In Mr. Sinner's letter, he talks about, I think it's lot 9, having a smidge of the wetland. Is 50 yards enough to fill a smidge?
That area, so
I
they.
can address that.
Oh, will you address that, Scott?
I will address that.
Oh, good, thank you.
Okay. What I understand is there's 240 cubic yards of area for the wetland area, so that looking at that small area, I believe it would be well under the 50 cubic yards.
So if we wanted to define smidge, we could just use 50 cubic yards.
You could.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Ken? And Mr. Sinner, it's your turn.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Scott Sinner and staff, sorry. Scott Sinner.
I need to open the public hearing. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now it's your turn. I'm so sorry. We're
have a
open.
gavel?
I know. Sorry. Okay, but now we're in order, so go ahead.
Commissioners, I am Scott Sinner Consulting, 4401 San Juan Drive, Suite G in Medford, 97504. I'm representing the application today. And actually, I looked it up, and smidge is 18 to 49 cubic feet, so I thought.
Oh, cool.
I thought we'd be okay there. But as Ken did say, we looked at the depth of the wetland area, and it would come in at about 240 cubic feet, so it would require DSL action. And apparently, my original design was not liked by pretty much anybody, and so we do have the alternate that it fulfills the objectives of dealing with wetlands. The first is avoidance, and then mitigation, and then dealing with that. So what we did is we had AKS Engineering come down, and they did a delineation for us that has not been submitted to DSL for concurrence yet. And we used the delineation to design our subdivision, make sure that we could have it redesigned by staff to do a better job of avoiding. And so do you all have this copy? Okay. So that is our preferred alternate, including the applicants. So my design stunk, I guess. We have, this is, all of our lots are 50 foot wide. I mean, these set up very nicely for 50 by 100s, with the exception of 1 and 11. But they all meet the code. They're going to be very nice for development of single-family detached homes. Lot 11 is narrower. It's at 43.92, but even with the setbacks, that's a very buildable lot. Very likely be 2-story, but it's also a very long lot. So we could make a long, skinny one, or we could make a 2-story house out of it. I think that was, we did have additional AKS consulting on the wetlands and on the fairy shrimp habitat, and they say the vernal pools, there was no indication of current vernal pools on the site at all. It was the wetland area. No indication of fairy shrimp habitat, so we believe we've addressed that. Assuming an approval, we will comply with all the DSL standards and requirements, and we'll deal with all the other requirements, conditions of approval. I did hear Ken say that the sanitary was on the east side. It's actually on the west side. And so, west side of the right-of-way. And so, but we're aware of that. And upon approval, we'd go into an engineering phase and make sure everything is okay. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So on that, Scott, does that mean you cut up the street 11 times? Or, well, more than that with water?
So there's water's in almost the center line, okay? And water would allow trenching two per trench, 2 water lines per trench, so that cuts it in half. Sewer is similar. They can be grouped, but there's still a lot of cutting. There's also, we're looking at other alternatives for engineering that would install a sewer line on our side. And it would connect for the upper end. The sewer doesn't connect right now. There's a gap in front of 9, 10, and 11. And We are looking at both options, though. But there's a lot of cutting
Yeah.
and a lot of repair, and it would all be nice. These lots are standard size for the zoning district. We believe we meet the criteria. We're trying to avoid the wetlands as much as possible. And I'd be happy to answer any other questions. And if not, I'm going to request time for rebuttal.
Absolutely. Consider it
I
reserved.
can have one more question.
Absolutely.
You
Of
mind?
course.
Since lot 11 is only going to be 40 feet wide,
43.
and the back of it, it just invites things, will you provide for a passageway somehow between the property line and the house so that they can do those things?
I would say that, that's going to come up in the design. I personally think it's going to be a nice two-story lot. And a two-story lot would give you the ability to, we have 5-foot side setbacks now required by code, and an additional 5 feet would allow for even a pickup truck to get back there if necessary. But that's going to be determined by the design at vertical construction. I would want to get back there.
Sure.
There will be deed restrictions on the wetlands as well, on the individual lots that are impacted.
Does the owner then of those lots become liable for the maintenance of the wetland of lot 11? Do they then become responsible?
Stewards, I would think it'd be a better way to handle it. It's their responsibility.
Yeah. Does that mean they have to provide access?
No, I don't think so. Any other questions or comments?
Doesn't look like it.
I have a question for staff. I was not clear on the phase development and the phasing, so we have up to 5 years to complete 2 phases, is that correct?
I can talk to that. They're both.
Okay. And then we would stipulate to do alternate 1, and what would happen is we would submit a revised plat that would show this layout without hopefully disturbing you planning commissioners again. Thank you, and I'd request approval.
Excellent, thank you.
Patty, is this a new exhibit then? Does this have a number?
159.
Number 27.
No, sorry.
Yes, could you address the 5 years and 2 phases?
Okay, so the way the code sets up the expiration on subdivisions, on multi-phase subdivisions is you have 2 years to complete the first phase with opportunity to get extensions to that. You have a total of 5 years to complete all phases of the development.
Thank you.
Thanks. Did anybody else have any questions that came up in the meantime? Okay, then I think, what's that? We have a Zoom person, okay. This is my first Zoom person. So exciting. All right, so I think once we figure out tech, we'll hear from Melissa Eggleston.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. I apologize, I was a little bit late to the meeting, so I didn't hear all of the first part, but I wanted to ask a question about the 2-story division, because if you look, I think it's Jacqueline Way, where they have the two-story division, that road is so thin with the street parking that if there were ever a fire emergency, people would not be able to get out. Like, I've turned down that road to get to my house on 26th Street, and if there's a dump truck there, I've had to back out. So how do you plan to address the excessive parking issue and extra cars on the street if you have like 11 houses, 2 stories? That's a lot of cars on that street. And we already have a problem with street parking on 26th Street and on Falcon.
Are we allowed to have Ken address that? Yes, Ken, would you mind? Or Scott? Yeah, maybe we'll hear from both.
Okay.
Ken, do you want to take it?
As far as street width, this is a 60-foot wide right of way, and so there's ample area for parking as in terms of the width of it. The streets that I think she's referring to were developed with 40-foot rights of way, excuse me. And so it's quite a bit narrower. As far as distance, I would anticipate that there would be enough distance between driveways that there could be on-street parking there as well.
And Scott, did you want to?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's just as a note, as the only one that they're talking about, a 2-story house is on lot 11. There's nothing that prevents them from doing 2 stories, but as far as, that usually wouldn't affect the parking and such, so.
Thank you.
Quick question, right? Can you add an ADU on these houses? Is it zoned for that? I assume it is.
ADUs are allowed on 6,000 square feet or larger. So most of these are going to be too small to do an ADU.
Thank you.
Is she done with her testimony on Zoom?
Ms. Eggleston, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Yes, I'm just concerned about the lot size because when I walk around the block, especially the one that's directly on the corner of 25th and Falcon, that first lot is very small. I don't see how there would be room for a driveway. And also the access point that's kind of narrow. I don't know, it's in between 26th and 25th. It's just starting on 26th, it's like a little alley kind of. What are your plans for those?
If she's done, I'll rebut.
Right, so Ms. Eggleston, we need to conclude your testimony so that I can have the applicant actually address some of your questions. So just a little procedural thing.
yes.
So if there's anything else that you wanted to bring up, and I also
yes.
need your address for the record. So those are the 2 things we need to take care of, and then I'll have the applicant kind of address some of your questions.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry, it's my first time doing this.
No problem.
My address is 8111 26th Street in White City.
Thank you. And was there anything else you wanted to bring up before we conclude your testimony and I have the applicant speak again to some of your questions?
Of course. I heard them talking about the fairy shrimp pond, and I did take some pictures as I walked around the block to where I see kind of a depression and kind of where maybe it could be. And I'm wondering who did the survey. Was it a biology surveys or environmental surveys that concluded that there was no fairy shrimp? Because when we first were here, there were a lot of frogs, and now you don't really hear any frogs. And so I feel like the wetland area has kind of deteriorated.
All right, so I think we have kind of a list of the things that you would like to have addressed.
Yes.
And if that concludes your questions, then I will ask if anyone else on the Zoom had raised their hand or wanted to testify.
Thank you.
We don't have anybody else? Okay, so, Mr. Sinner, would you?
Jim just raised his hand.
Jim raised his hand, okay. Jim,
Hello,
go
can you
ahead
hear
with
me?
your testimony. Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, my name is Jim Ozarzak. I live at 3552 Avenue G, White City, 97503. Thanks for letting me speak today. Are we all done with procedural things? Can I just roll into it?
Yes, go ahead.
Perfect, thanks. Yeah, so my main concern is the wetlands. I live basically right behind them. The frogs were just mentioned. They are delightful in the winter and super nice to hear. And I guess I just wonder why, specifically for lots 9, 10, and 11, it seems like a pretty easy solution to not invade that wetland would just have them be the same length of lot as all of the other ones. And then you basically would not have any wetland impediment. So all of this talk of a smidge of and 50 yards of filling in just would be irrelevant at that point if we just made them all kind of stop at the current fence line that is impeding the other lots. And that is all that I have to say. I love the frogs. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Do I need to mute myself?
Yes, that's, oh, Patty's got you. And if that is everybody on the Zoom, it looks like, then Mr. Sinner.
Good morning, Scott Center Consulting for the record. First of all, parking. Each of these lots are supplied with adequate parking. They have a code required 2 spaces per dwelling unit. There will be available on-street parking. With a 50-foot lot, you'll have a driveway approach. You'll have room for probably 1 on-street parking space. The existing street in 25th is a very wide right-of-way and a very wide paved section. The typical street section for White City allows a local street A, which is a 45-foot right-of-way with a 5-foot sidewalk on each side. So that takes 10 to 35, and it's a 27 paved sections. So this is a wider paved section. It allows for on-street parking. It allows for bypass for emergency vehicles, even with parking on both sides. As far as lot standards, 50 by 100, 5,000 square foot lots are within the standards. As far as wetlands go, we did have a biological engineer, AKS Engineering, did survey the site, provided the delineation, and provided the exhibit on no fairy shrimp habitat. It's not a fairy shrimp wetland. And then we have also, can you pull up the alternate? And Mr. O, we do have a alternate plan that does, oh, there was it. I don't know if you can see it on your Zoom now, but we did even out the length of lots 9 and 10, added it to lot 11, which becomes basically an unbuildable area for lot 11. And it does consolidate the wetlands on one parcel. So I think that's a solution that you were kind of thinking, but it is part of lot 11, and it'll be in their ownership. With that, I think that I have addressed everything. We're so. Oh, smidge. Smidge is. Let's just say that we will stick with DSL standards of 50 yards or less, and smidge will remain undefined at this point. Thank you, and I request approval.
Thank you. are we ready to close the public hearing in that case? I think. And Patty, should we add the people who spoke to the sign-up sheet somehow? Okay, thank you. All right, so we will close the public hearing. Can I please have a motion to admit exhibits?
I'll make a motion to admit those exhibits, and that's Exhibit 27,
I think we've went through
1 to
27.
20.
1 to 27.
Second?
Patty, please call the roll.
Commissioner Snyder,
Approve.
Commissioner Galpin,
Yes.
Commissioner Elliott,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallen Daly.
Yes. And technically, I would like to request a motion before we deliberate. So does anybody want to make a motion on this application?
I'll make a motion to approve with conditions. Based on the evidence and testimony, I move that the Jackson County Planning Commission approve Jackson County Planning File Number 439-26-00030-SUB for an 11-lot residential subdivision in 2 phases on property described as Township 36, Range 1 West, Section 16CD, Tax Lot 201, subject to the conditions listed on pages 16 through 23 of the revised staff report as found in Exhibit Number 9 of the record. I'm sorry, what was that?
As the alternatives.
And add the alternate exhibits. Thank you.
I second that motion.
Do we have any comments, deliberation? All right, Patty, I think you can call the roll.
Commissioner Snyder,
Approve.
Commissioner Galpin,
Approve.
Commissioner Elliott,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallen Daly.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I think that's all we have on our agenda for today. Patty, what do we have coming up next?
We have no meetings on the books.
Well, okay, that's easy. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, commission, nothing to mark our calendars for. So I think with that, we can close the meeting. We are adjourned.